All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay Will. So I learned a lot in 24 hours with this phone. I learned a whole bunch, not good or bad. I just learned a lot. So the first thing I want to talk about is the things that I didn't like about the original Mi Mix, which was phone calls. Now they had the technology where they use the screen to vibrate, and that's how you can hear the person. Well, I hated that. Hated's a strong word, so I really dislike that about the phone. Love you too, sweetheart. And then what they did for the Mi Mix 2 is they added an earpiece pretty much. Let me focus for you. See how they added a little earpiece? Kind of using the same technology, but they just added a chamber to make it come up and be a little bit more realistic, like a real phone call, which is a huge plus. Now, phone calls on this thing are fantastic. They're all, it's like a regular phone now, and I don't have a complaint about that anymore. So they solved that issue that I had with them. Another issue that I had over time of using the Mi Mix, the original Mi Mix, was the size of it. It was a really wide phone and it was really heavy. So what they've done this time is they've fixed that by giving us a more 18:9 ratio, giving us a more traditional phone style. And it's working. I'm really enjoying it. It's still a big phone, don't get me wrong. It is a large phone. It feels larger, even though it has such a small footprint. It feels bigger than what it really is. I can't explain it. It feels, it's definitely much smaller than the original Mi Mix. But this one is narrower, easier to hold, feels more like a phone, but it's still a big phone. It's got a pretty big footprint. It has a 6-inch display. And you know, that's something that I think a lot of people, if you're into smartphones, 6 inches and a compact body is a good look. That's a good thing. So they solved that issue. You know, I had some concerns about how bulky it felt in my pocket after a while. So they solved that. That's a good thing. Now, one thing that they didn't change was the camera position. Now, this, in fact, doesn't bother me at all. You know, like the area at the top of the iPhone X, that didn't bother me after a while either. They didn't change that. And there were leaks that this phone was going to have where this camera was going to be just a little small spot over here on the top. That actually would have been fantastic. Just from an aesthetic standpoint, that would have been great. How functional the camera would have been or how good the quality would have been, I don't know. But this setup right here, they didn't change it. It doesn't bother me. Even the Mi Mix 2 S just changed the camera position and put it over here. You know, they just kind of tweaked the back a little bit, but they left the front the same. So, you know, the camera position never bothered me, and it still doesn't bother me to this day. Now, one thing that changed is for the better is the stereo speakers that are on this phone. Now, let me start by saying that these are not very good stereo speakers. The peak volume is where you get the best, like 80 to 100 for most phones. You get a lot of sound, but these don't really sound as good as I thought they were going to sound. This isn't a strong suit of this phone. If I was going to tell a person to buy this, yeah, you get stereo speakers, but don't expect Axon 7 or Galaxy S9. You know, don't expect that type of quality. Well, I shouldn't say quality. I should say sound level. The quality is good. They're just not loud. It's so strange to how quiet these are. I could demo them on camera, but you still won't get the gist of it. You need to hear this phone in person and see what I mean. But you know what? I'll demo it. Let me do it real quick. It's peak volume. Up to the best quality. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to demo that next. I'm going to show you now what it sounds like on the Galaxy Note 8, which doesn't have stereo speakers. And this is probably going to trip you out. It'll give you some reference of how loud these speakers actually are. So let me get my Galaxy Note 8 right here and turn on that same video. And you're going to say, okay, yeah, I can kind of see what you mean. So one sec. All right, so here we go. One more time for reference. So you see what I mean? Not the loudest speakers. Just not the loudest speakers. Not bad quality, just not very loud for a stereo set of speakers. Louder than some phones, but not louder than a lot of phones like I thought it would be. So, but that's not like a letdown. At least it has stereo speakers and in this form factor, and it's actually really, really great. Now, another thing that I learned about this phone in the last 24 hours and my impression of this phone is, if you can see, I'm running Nova Launcher on here. For some reason, running the stock launcher with this phone, and remember, I like the stock launcher for Xiaomi, but for some reason on this phone, the 835 is in here, you know, no problems with that. It just seems like I had a few hiccups here and there, so I switched to Nova Launcher. I even switched to the Pixel Launcher, and right now I'm determining which one runs the best. And sometimes certain applications seem to slow down or stutter a little bit, like my inbox when running the stock launcher. I have no clue. I don't know if this is related. I don't know. I'm not saying, I don't know. I just know that sometimes the inbox application kind of slows down, and my Chase app kind of slows down when I'm running the stock launcher. And I don't know if it's a stock launcher. It could be resources. It could be anything. I have no clue. But when I switch to Nova Launcher or the Pixel Launcher, I don't have those issues. I just don't have those same issues, are non-existent. And I've kind of been running it on the Nova Launcher for a little bit, just to kind of see if this is how I want to keep it, you know, and use it, because, you know, this is a daily driver for me right now. But anyway, a few things I found out in the last 24 hours. One last thing that I found out in the last 24 hours, let me go to my gallery so I can show you, is the battery life. The battery life has been great, to say the least. Last all day, and I was able to pull down, I think 6 hours. 6 hours of screen on time is what I was able to, let me focus here. 6 hours of screen on time, and I still had about 10% left. So, you know, that's pretty decent. I can respect that. And it lasted, I didn't charge it until this morning. So, I woke up, it actually stayed at 10%, pretty much. It only drained like 2%. Oh, bumpy cam. It only drained, when I went to sleep, it was about 12%. And I woke up, it was at 10%. So I took that screenshot, and I was like, wow, you know, I think that's when I did that. Let me see here. When did I take that screenshot? Yeah, I took the screenshot at 8:48 this morning. And so when I went to sleep, it was at like 12%. It just sipped the battery overnight, and there was no power saving mode, nothing. So it did really good. So quick impressions of the Xiaomi Mi Mix 2. I really like this. You know, the sides are really slippery. Even with the case on, the sides are slippery. So the cases that I have coming have grip, you know, so, well, one of them does. So quick impressions of the Mi Mix 2. Really enjoying it, man. I think it's really nice. It's easily a good daily driver for anyone. And the price point is pretty good. So I don't know. There you have it. Quick video from your manager. Well, not quick. I ran up on 10 minutes. My bad. But I'll see you guys in the next video, man. Stay tuned for more. Take care.